Hello, my mathematicians. This is Ms. Foster with a look on data and picture graphs. So data is information that has numbers, and it's super important to us in our modern internet-connected lives because one of the things that all the different sites and programs that you might visit or use online, one of the things they do is collect data, mountains of it, huge amounts. Millions and billions and trillions of pieces of data. And often big companies like Amazon or a hospital or, oh golly, a sports team, they will gather so much data from the internet, a huge pile of it. But then they don't know what to do with it to help them serve their customers or make their business better. And so a huge job of the 21st century is to really understand data and the math behind data and be able to use it to ask really important and useful questions of gigantic data sets. And this is our beginning look at it. So right now my nephew is in college learning how to do this. And when he graduates, he'll be able to get a job anywhere in the world that he wants because it's a hugely needed profession. So as I said, data is information that has numbers. In our information today, we have Sally who loves ribbons. And this is her ribbon collection. And they're asking us to count. So our first number is, well, how much of the stuff do we have? Now, when I see a big jumble of things here, I like to start putting it in groups. And my first graders, you have expressed a lot of curiosity about multiplication and division. So I'm going to do some division here and divide this into equal groups. And I must warn you, this is just an estimate. I could get it wrong. But I'm noticing that here is a group of 4, and here is a group of 4. I'm going to guess that these are a group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have 4 groups of 4. If you already love multiplication, you may already know this, but if it's new to you, when we're multiplying, we're adding similar size groups over and over again. And here I have 4 groups of 4. And then the best way to attack multiplication learning is to really use what you know. So I know already that 4 plus 4 is 8. So these two are 8. And look, I can do it again here. 4 plus 4 is 8. And 8 plus 8 is, you guessed it, 16. So here I have 16 ribbons. But then they get arranged in what we call a picture graph, where they kind of organize everything. So the first thing I want you to notice here is that there's a title on every graph. It doesn't matter what kind of graph it is. There's a title that can help you understand what the numbers are. And this one is Sally's ribbons. Then the next thing that happens in graphs is we'll have groups or categories. So we can see that Sally here decided to categorize her ribbons by color. We have a red group and we have a label for that group. We also have a label that's a word for the blue group and a label that's a yellow for the yellow group. So these labels, they won't necessarily always be about color, but they will tell you the kind of stuff kind of in that group. And it's important that you know to look for those labels and read them. And then in a picture graph, we have pictures. And in the case of this picture graph, each picture of a ribbon equals 1 ribbon. So we can see that she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red. I'm just going to write that up here because we have to make sure there are 16. And let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. I have 7 blue ribbons and 4 yellow ribbons. Let me see, 7 plus 4 is 11. And 11 plus 5 is 16. So all of the ribbons are represented in this graph. Graph literally comes from an old word for picture. And so we made a picture of the numbers with pictures. And that's what a picture graph is. Now that was simple. Let's try out a slightly harder one. So one of the things we need to know about these graphs is how to read them. And there are a bunch of keywords. And we'll use Sally's graph to help us with this. Now in these words, most means the greatest number. Fewest means the least or smallest number. So when we read the picture graph, we already did this on the other page, we noticed that we had 5 red ribbons, and I need a highlighter here to show you that there are 5 red ribbons. Let's see, how many blue ribbons are there? There are 7 blue ribbons. That's what we got on the other page. And then we have yellow ribbons, and there are 4 of them. That's exactly what we got on the other page. But then we also wanted to compare these numbers to each other so we understand it. Sally has the most blue ribbons. Ooh, let's do that one in blue. She has the fewest yellow ribbons, and we can see that because we organize them into these stacks here. We can kind of see that easily. She says she has more blue ribbon, 2 more blue ribbons than red ribbons. Okay, let's see here. If that is how many red ribbons, do you see how 2 more are happening right there? And then, which looks like she's comparing yellow and blue down here. So let me do it this way. Here's the yellow ribbons. Aha, this is the more. And it looks like we have 3 more blue ribbons, but she chose to use this word fewer. So instead we will say there are fewer yellow ribbons than blue ribbons. And then here's an important thing we already knew. There are 16 ribbons in all. So let's try this one out. I'm going to use an actual pen. So this is the picture, and we're going to look at the title. It's of Eggs Laid This Week. There are 3 hens on Old Joe's farm, and this shows the number of eggs that each hen laid this week. So he has 3 hens. One is named Henny, one is named Penny, and one is named Daisy. And here's a picture of how many eggs each one laid. So let's take a look at it. Well, Henny, I can see right away, she laid 4 eggs. Penny's got more than that. So, ooh, this place right here is 4, and that's another 4. So, wow, Penny laid a lot of eggs. She laid 8 eggs. Daisy, here is the 4 line. So Daisy is 4 plus 3 is 7. Excellent. Now we need to look at these numbers and these rows and who laid the most. Well, if you have the numbers down there, 8 is the greatest number, but you can also see that Penny's line goes out farther. And I'm just going to abbreviate this, and you can do this on your work as well if you choose. Penny laid the most eggs. Who laid the fewest? That's the smallest number. Looks like Henny didn't have a great egg-laying week compared to her fellow hens. Daisy laid blank more eggs than Henny. Well, this line right here is 4 on this side and more on that side. So if we say, well, they each laid 4, then the stuff that Daisy has that's more is how many more she left. And look, 1, 2, 3. Oh, well done, Daisy. You laid 3 more eggs than Henny. And then how many in all? Well, to do that, I think I'm going to go ahead and just add these all up. 8 plus 4 is 12, and 12 plus 7 is 19. So we should have 19 eggs in all. Now, I did it by adding, but when you're doing your work and you're practicing this, if you want to count them all, you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Either way works. Now that was a pretty simple one, but I know you guys like a challenge. So sometimes we make picture graphs where the picture represents more than 1, where each picture is greater than 1. See over here, each picture of an egg was worth 1 egg. But in this graph, it's not like that. And so we have a new feature, and that feature is what we call a key. And the key is the information you need to unlock the sense in this graph. So, of course, there's more information than that. We need to check the title. So this is a graph about kind of pets. Well, that's a lot of pets. If we read the story problem, we learn that Ms. Bishop owns a pet shop. So she's sort of doing inventory, and she starts to draw a picture graph of her pets in her pet shop. Now, these are the different groups or categories, and we see she's represented those with a picture too. Sometimes that can help us read when we're in 1st and 2nd grade, but we also have the word there. So we have a turtle and a fish and a hamster. We have rabbits and cats and birds. Those are the kinds of pets in her shop. So now they tell us that she has 20 fish total. But then, do you see the key way down here? It didn't actually tell us how much this, that yellow symbol, I guess I'm going to call it the yellow symbol, doesn't tell us how much each yellow symbol is worth. But we know that she has 20 fish. So I'm going to make a box for 20 fish right here. I'm going to say fish with an F, and I'm going to say 20 because the whole box starts at 0 over here and fills up to 20. Now, how many of these symbols do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to divide my box of 20 into 5. Now that means we have 5 boxes here. And now I know you guys are loving multiplication so much. 5 times something gets us to 20. And whatever this number will be, that will be the amount in each box. You know what we're doing here? We're doing 20 divided by 5, aren't we? Now we've brought in that division. So here's another thing I want you to know about multiplication and division. They're opposites of each other. In multiplication, it's like adding the same number over and over, like 5 plus 5 plus 5, and so on and so forth. But in division, it's like subtracting the same number over and over. So we might ask how many groups of 5 are in 20. Now, 5 is a great place to start with multiplication because since you were very little, you have known how to count by 5s. So let's count how many 5s it takes us to get to 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. It's 4. So that tells me that there is a 4 in every one of these boxes. Do you agree with that? And that tells me, whoops, sorry, that one was messy. That tells me that each one of those yellow symbols stands for 4 animals. That means we're going to have to do some multiplication to figure out this graph. We know that she has 20 fish. And we know now that each of those symbols stands for 4 animals. So I think the next step for me is to figure out how many in all. Well, 1, 2, 3. 3 times 4. 4, 8, 12. Now that hamster is super easy. 4 hamsters. There are no rabbits. Here, cat is the same as turtle. 4, 8, 12. I'm learning to use my fingers with this camera. And then we have the bird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this seems hard, but wait. We know that 5 times 4 is 20. So if we add on this next 4, we get 24. And that's using a relationship of close numbers, using what you already know to get at something that's harder that you don't. We do that a lot with multiplication and division. So now when I look here, the question is, how many more birds than hamsters does she have? Well, she only has one symbol of hamsters. So if we cross this one out for that one symbol of hamsters, then this would be the more. And she has 20 more birds than hamsters. We're right back to this picture. There are blank cats and birds in all. Ooh, this is tricky. We have to take all the cats and we have to add them to all the birds. And that would be like adding 12 plus 24. Well, 2 plus 4 is 6 and 1 plus 2 is 3. So in all, we would have 36 birds and cats and birds. Now, she says she gets some rabbits in, and now we have 16 rabbits. Ooh, this is going to be fun. So how many rabbits? Well, if each one of these triangle symbols stands for 4 rabbits, let's see, these 2 are 8, and these 2 are 8, and 8 plus 8 is 16. Will that stand for 16 rabbits? Aha! So now we know how many rabbits there are. I guess she had some bunnies born. Oh, excuse me, she drew 4 of those little symbols on the chart. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then she buys 8 more turtles. So how many more of these things will she have to draw? Well, if one of them equals 4, what's 8 divided by 4? Well, let me see. 4 plus 4 is 8. So 4 times 2 is 8. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. And that means if we get those turtles in, we've got to draw 2 more of these over here. And then she wouldn't have 12 anymore. She would have 12 plus 8, which is 20. So we're tossing around a lot of numbers about things here, and that can be really challenging. Friends, I'm running out of time on my video. So thanks for watching this video. I'm going to make another one for you where we get even harder. And thanks for playing math with me. Bye-bye for now.